Hi, welcome back. We're on to our next signature for our Paris album. And I kind of want to get right down to the nitty-gritty here in the back on our panel. All right, so what I did was I cut this piece of paper. I wanted the tree to show, so I ended up cutting off another building that was over here. You know, I had that thing saved to set aside so I could show you, and it's buried deep. Here it is. So this 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I cut it this direction, trimming off this piece, and I am going to play with this, so don't lose it. I just did, but don't lose it. So then what I did was I came in here and I trimmed, did some fussy cutting, and I cut all the way around this, and it ends up separating these two pieces. And then I took this piece with a piece of white cardstock about yay wide. So how wide would yay wide be? About 2.5 inches. So that I could trim in the white. You don't need to take it all the way to the bottom. That's just a waste. So you should have some scraps that you could come in behind here. And then I brought in the same thing. I did the same thing with the black. Trimmed it. So what I'm creating here is a pocket, a big pocket. Now, in order for this to work, I have to glue this piece down because I don't want it loose and I don't want it creating an issue here binding up because it's loose, so I want to glue it down. So to do that, I had to use a cardstock, and I chose the lightest weight that I have in cardstock because it's not important how heavy it is. It just needs to be some black cardstock so that you can mount this on it, and then when you get this piece on, you're going to run tape along this edge, and this edge, and then you're going to come in and set this right back into the cut, this trim line, the shadowed trim line that you have here. You're just going to place it right back into place, and it helps to maintain the height of the piece of paper. And with this glued down, this is not going to be coming up. So then this is just, like I said, taped across here. Now I am sort of toying with, I haven't made my mind up yet, to add a little bit of color and flavor to this. I've been thinking about running a strip of beads here at the bottom, but I'm not thoroughly convinced yet. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. So I'm gonna have you pause the video, go ahead and cut this, and then you're gonna cut what I call, you're gonna cut right to left. I want you to remove this left panel, this house here. Boarding house, hotel, whatever it is. And then, like I said, glue this piece down onto some black cardstock, then come in after you've done all of your tracing and your shadowing here, then go ahead and tape this on the 3 sides, and then you've got your big pocket. Now, I took one of the bookmarks and I also mounted it on black and white cardstock. And you could take a lighter piece of paper, like maybe some photo paper or some typing paper, and cut a piece and put here on the back so you can do your journaling if you wish. But there we have our pocket. So now our panels, this is your right side panel. It's going to measure at 5 inches across by 8 3/4. You're going to score it at 1/2, and then you're going to score it at 5/8. And then we're going to mount this right up to the 1/2 inch score line. Sometimes it's so hard to see black on black where I can see where the score line is. I don't think I have this quite level. There we go. All right. Now for this side, I do believe it's going to be exact same measurements. It's going to come in at 5 inches by 8 3/4. You're going to have a 1/2 inch score and a 5/8 of an inch score line. And again, we're going to come right up to this 1/2 inch score line. And then I'm going to burnish this down. And I'm going to push back to re-encourage this second score line. Okay. Now here comes the tricky part. Because of what I am doing on the front, I can't put a band. There's no way for me to secure it on the front. So the only way I can secure this is with some magnets. You're going to need 4 of them because we're going to put 2 here, and then we're going to turn it over and we're going to put 2 on the back side. Okay, so I don't want to hurt myself. Sorry, but the magnets I use are quite strong, so I don't want to get myself pinched while I'm separating them. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over, let it find its mate, and then we're going to glue that down, and then I'm going to repeat the same process for this side. Slide them apart. And let it find its mate. And then I'm going to tape them down so that they don't go anywhere. All right, so now let's get back to the inside. So there is a piece of paper that has a circle goes this way. I'm looking at the circle here, and there's a bird here across the bottom. So when I cut, pick your panel, which one you want to trim, and then you're going to end up adjusting or dropping it. There's going to be what I did was I cut straight across, and then you can make your adjustments. I want to keep this piece because I want to use this. There's very little sayings other than I love you in this collection, so I want to save this piece, so don't use it for trim, so just kind of set it aside so that we don't inadvertently use it. So I took the 2 panels that I cut off of that piece, and I am putting them in here like so. Now the way I trimmed it, especially on this side, is there's a strip about this wide over here. I wanted this scene in the album, so I cut this one from the left to the right, and then I trimmed this one again going from the left to the right, making sure that I could get this in, so you end up taking off about an inch, 1.25 inches, I think is what it was. Now, because these both have magnets on the inside panels, I'm going to be taping them in. I don't want to lose my bookmark. And I do lose things on my desk. I think we all do. We set something down and then it's right in front of us, but we just don't see it because of all the other stuff that's in the way. Okay. And I have to be honest with you, I'm a tad bit dyslexic. So measurements drive me crazy. So to say to you, that's why I do a lot of cut to fit, because I don't want to mess with all those little incremental inches. So I struggled with this piece, this layering out here. Because the first couple of signatures, I just could not get this right. And then it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was plant the palm of my hand on my forehead. I was making it more difficult than it needed to be. I simply needed to cut square piece, all the pieces in square, and then make sure that their fits were tight. And then cut the corners. I don't know why that was so difficult for me. But sometimes aha comes to me at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I think I should have better trims, better fits going forward. I am just such a goof. And I don't like sharing things about myself, but it might help explain a lot to you why I kind of do goofy things. I don't know, maybe this is your first run around with me on videos and you haven't noticed. But I honestly don't know if anybody really likes working with 1/16 of an inch. And I find that my eyeballs do a better job of lining things up than my ruler does. Okay, that's such a pretty view. That's such a pretty piece. And then we're going to come over here, or I'm going to do the same. You might be gluing yours in. Okay, let's get this piece down. So I'm going to line up to the corners. Oh, that's driving me crazy. I have a little bit too much hanging over here and it's messing with my line of sight here. Okay, why is this not lining up? First of all, the tape that's there is, well, it is what it is. tape under. So that's what we have on the inside. All right, so here are our outside panels, and I am just setting them in to make sure that I'm okay with my cuts. I think they will work. And then for the outside panel, there is a large piece that has a girl on the left side walking, and it's red hue, like it's a sunset. She's walking, and then you have these two on a park bench, and there's a saying that I need a long, cold winter. And I would agree with that. I like my winters cold, not wet. And then I took one of the roses off that sheet of roses, fussy cut it, and I'm going to glue these down, and I'm going to slip it down here so that you've got a tuck on the front. Now I cut her out, layered her on white and black cardstock, and I've raised her up so that I hopefully create the illusion that she's really walking through the park. And then I cut these out, again layered them, black and white cardstock, popped them up, and I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to take some bling and go up both sides to add some sparkle. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together. Because there's no magnets, I can actually just glue all these down. And I think you can see why I made the comment that there really wasn't any way to put a tab on the front to create the closure. That's driving me nuts. I have to get it out of my eyesight here. And then I'll come in and glue this, being careful to glue around this. And I did ink everything, and I inked the inside of the cutout so that if any portion of it ends up showing, that it has been inked, so that it would blend in better. Peeling off the backs to my pop-ups. And it's just simply a matter of dropping it right back in place where it was. And that gives us a little bit of height there. Okay, let's close this. And I did the same here. I inked on the inside. So if it showed, it would kind of blend in. Perfect. And then the same thing, we're going to pull the strips off the back of my foam pieces. And we're going to just put her right back where I cut her out from. And then to create the pocket, I'm just going to glue down these flower petals, the bottom of them. And then we have ourselves a nice little pocket here. Let me see if I've got something small enough. Well, this will work. See, nice pocket. Now we're going to put some tape along this edge. And then run the bling. I have a little extra. We'll just trim those pieces right off. Now we'll take that trim off. And I want these at the same height, so I'm going to start this one here. And then I'll trim off here at the bottom. Okay. I want that tape. I'm going to burnish it on this side so I don't ruin these. So that's what we have for this signature. It's small, it's not very large, but there's a lot of parts on it that are kind of moving, if you will. So we'll go ahead and get the tape on this. As you start filling up that pocket, you're going to find that this will get to be a somewhat hefty signature, so it feels small right now. But if you keep in mind some of those big pieces like invitations, so if someone's had a wedding and this is what you're using to as a gift to make them an album, or someone's got a holiday cabin someplace and you want to do this as a gift for them. All right, so I'm going to turn this way so when I put it in the book, make sure I've got it going the right direction. Bring it right to the edge. Make sure it's level top and bottom. Okay. And now I can pick out the tape. When they're small like this, they're a little bit more flexible, and I can get in here and pull this tape out. Give it a good burnish, and we are done. Okay, I'll see you soon on this one. Bye-bye.